All right, so this is the DB podcast. This is the Dark podcast. When you gaze into the abyss gazes back into you, and whenever you within the darkness, the light shines. Okay, so all right, so titans, mortals, demons, archons, principalities, uh, fallen angels, gods, goddesses, immortals, mortals, primordials. Yeah, just breaking it down. Yeah. So in the once again in the cinema Stranger Things, what's happening is they showing you how they would how they come in and this is if you keep just like you just keep like witnessing the shit. Uh, it's not gonna show you everything that's been in the episodes these recent episodes the previous episodes and this current one, but basically what you will see in there is how they using that girl how they was using that girl to access those dimensions because they have to have a mind, they have to have a vessel in those dimensions, they have to have an avatar in those dimensions to know how to access them. The mortals don't know how to do that shit. They don't know how to fucking do that shit because they don't come from there. They come from them shallow dimensions. They don't have no soul, no spirits type shit. For real, that's organic. Their mind be fucked up for real because they don't got no protection, no shit, no none of that. But the little girl, because she's psychic, that just means she's spiritually. Okay, what mortals refer to as spiritually protected and shielded and guarded within them realms, within them dimensions, within the realms and the worlds that exist within the worlds, you dig, or around the world, you know, like for example, the underworld and the square world, suburbs and the hood, streets and all that. The hood ain't even the same thing as the streets, but they ain't like they close together. They close together. The hood is like between the third and the fifth, third and the fourth, and like so in some cases it'll be between point okay, you know what? To keep it straight. The hood is between the third and the fourth dimension, but the streets is in the fourth dimension, fourth and the fifth type shit. But I ain't gonna go into it like that. But the suburbs be like in the second and the third, for real. For example, so she's been able to tap into that, which is why she able. So the point is the value is her worth. The worth that she has is her abilities, but the value that they looking for is the information. Is in the worth of the information, the worth of her abilities, which is the information that she is able to access because she has authority, self authority within those dimensions and realms. But they opt her out because she's still little. Her mind is still innocent, so she don't even think like that. So she don't have the physical protection, but she got the spiritual though. See how they work? So they come in when they come in and they try to get you when you little. Now you in the Stargate program. Now you in the Gateway program. Now you in the gifted intelligence program. They tell you it's because you gifted intelligence. They don't tell you what you gifted intelligence for and about. And now if you got a deep IQ, you mortals will call it a higher IQ. That's because you got psychic abilities. See how they work though. Boom. Okay, cool. So when the mortals who don't know how they got psychic, because this is how they foolish. The difference between the white T girl and Stranger Things 11 and the ones them GOV boys and them three letter agency boys that was playing with her and shit trying to pimp her out is that ignorance. They were ignorant. So ignorance is what allows mortals not to be protected in them realms. Not just because they synthetic or they artificial. The ones that know, they be trying to do their little magic and circles and shit to protect themselves in them realms because they know they don't got no protection from others, from the guys and the goddesses automatically. They don't get that shit in blood, bro. They don't get that shit in blood. Like not like when the gods incarnate. They got their troops. We got our troopers. But the mortals don't. So that's what happens when they sleep. They be talking about how if they can even drink, if they can even have what they call the dream, what mortals call a dream, because that's not a real thing. It's just you accessing different dimensions within your mind. Okay, creating and that's the realm in which imagination and creativity and inspiration exist, but as well as the other side, and that's how that works. So um destruction, chaos, you know And manipulation also exists within those realms as well, not just manifestation. That's how you did the fourth dimension. Yeah, that's why when mortals do what they call dreaming. That's why the fourth dimension look like the third dimension, because that's what's going on in the realm of thinking, ether. So that's the realm of ether. So the realm of thinking, and so it's the darker. So it's basically the spectrum of reality that's within the darker side. So the spectrum of light that isn't visible to the mortal's naked eyes within the third dimension, it's visible within the fourth dimension, because each dimension, the spectrum of light basically is what mortals call expands. And then they're able to see different shit, even though it looks like the third dimension. They'll start seeing shape shifting, people like morphing. They kind of like talk a little different. They'll be able to interpret different languages. They'll hear people. They'll just see people look different. They might be even taller. Not taller. They might see giants and shit. Motherfuckers who are mini sized, as mortals call it, in the third dimension, which is what what mortals call the physical dimension. But they might be appear to be giants when they're dreaming. What mortals call dreaming and shit, which ain't a real thing once again. Okay, so that's how that works. So now, but if one of these entities and demons possess a mortal, what happens is, even if they do wake up within the mortal's avatar or vessel or whatever the fuck you want to call it, no, really it's just a vessel, and they happen to access the third dimension, and they gain even a little bit of awareness, what happens is that they will be able to shapeshift in between, back and forth, from their original form and their false form, which is the so-called, what mortals call, a body that they possess, which is the hijacking, how that works. So once they hijacked it, they can, at some point, if they gain enough awareness, because they've been inside that, they've been possessed it for long enough, they will start shapeshifting. They'll go into the woods. They'll go into the Appalachian Mountains. They'll go into the bayou. They'll go into the rivers. They go somewhere. They gonna start shapeshifting. And they gonna eat. They gonna start feasting. They gonna be hunting. That's why there are protected reserved areas and shit. Government reserved area, forest areas where they don't want you hunting in that bitch. They don't want you going in there. It's not just because they hiding other things. I mean, it's not just because they hiding pure things. They hiding things that are coming through those portals too. So they don't always have to possess, but if the apparition is what mortals call strong enough, it can come through those portals, because it can condense its whatever is left of itself, of its original self, into the third dimension, which is where you see all those entities and demons coming through, and they look the way they do, but they have a humanoid form. Why the fuck do you think it has a humanoid form though? Was it ever, like, a great question that you can have if you're a critical thinker is, was it ever mortal? Was that ever a human, quote unquote, as mortals like to call themselves? Was that ever a human though? Why does it walk on two legs? Why does the only thing that's distinctively different about that so-called creature, that being, is its face is different? When you hijack and manipulate somebody and you trying to fuck them up, you trying to go for their dome, you trying to go for the noggin inside a skull, you heard? So why wouldn't, if someone was possessed, their face look different? That's where you get the whole thing, the GOV done brought out. Yeah, they calling it a demon face, where you see somebody's face shapeshifting and shit. What you think that fucking is though? You see a narcissist or a psychopath, they black out. What you think that is though? They start looking all sadistic and shit. What you fucking think that is though? They trying to feast. Yeah. That's the difference. Immortals don't have to go through that shit if they really connected to their almighty, the almighty God. But if they not, woo.